Hey, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today I am here to tell you guys why you suck at Wild Rift and it's not your teammates' fault or the matchmaking's fault or anything apart from your fault that you are not a higher rank. So before I go deeper into this video, I want you guys to understand I'm not referring to the people who blame their teammates in some games. I blame my teammates sometimes, it happens, sometimes your teammates make mistakes and there's nothing you can do about it. In a lot of games, your teammates are uncontrollable and they will make the dumb plays and you won't be able to win. This is a completely realistic expectation to have, that sometimes your teammates will suck and sometimes it will be their fault. It's okay to get mad at your teammates in games and to blame them for losses. This is understandable. It is good because it's hard to take the blame only ever on yourself. It's frustrating. It's tilting. I get it. Sometimes we want to just let out some anger and rage at our teammates a little bit. You know, don't type bad things to them, but if you want to acknowledge that your teammates suck sometimes, it is what it is. That's fine with me. That's not the complaint I have. That's not the problem I have. The problem that I have is that you guys are unwilling to acknowledge that you would be a higher rank if you were better at the game. And I'm not talking about everyone again. You know, there are people in my comment section, they will tell me they can't implement the various things I talk about in my videos because their teammates don't allow them to. Their teammates won't follow up if they invade. Their teammates won't set up a gank properly and all of these different things. And they'll only ever focus on the fact that their games are not identical to mine, and they'll only focus on the fact of what their teammates are doing incorrectly. They don't focus on, yeah, you know, I could do this, but maybe because of my elo, instead of invading this early on, I have to ping a lot and I can't really go until I make sure that my teammate is 100% following me, because otherwise in these lower elos they're just not going to follow me because they're not very smart, right? These are the healthy things to take from these videos. You know, you can change it based on your elo, but it doesn't mean that you guys have to completely ignore the advice that I give just simply because you think the game's completely different at different elos. There are fundamentally correct and incorrect ways to play the game, and what I'm trying to teach you guys is the ways, at least that I learned, that help me climb to challenger from every different rank. I've been in literally every rank on multiple different accounts on multiple different roles. I've climbed through it all. I understand the differences between the elos, and that's why I'm coming to you guys with this information in mind. I realize that you guys are mostly not challenger players. My advice in my videos is not geared towards challengers because I am simply a challenger player. I'm not really better than other challengers. I'm roughly just, you know, a lower tier to mid challenger player. My advice is geared towards people trying to climb who are Emerald, Master, Plat, Diamond, whatever. That is what my advice is geared towards. I'm teaching you guys the correct ways to play the game, but oftentimes, and again, this is not everyone, I will see people just tell me that advice is not applicable to them. And it is true that in some games you have to adjust to your teammates, because it is better to make the wrong call if everyone's going on the wrong call than for one person to be going one way, another person decides on something else, 3 people are doing something else, and everyone is, you know, nowhere to be found, nothing happens. But the problem is the people are not willing to acknowledge or to think about what the correct play is and then deviate from that when it is correct. They will start by building these bad habits by always going for the bad play because that's what your teammates are doing. If you allow your teammates to dictate every decision that you make, you're never going to improve because you are not making the decision. You're allowing your teammates to make the decision. You are the consistent factor in your games, meaning you are the one who has to make the consistent decisions because the only thought process that will be 100% in all of your games is yours. If you simply follow, you know, when your mid laner does this, you follow your mid laner. When your mid laner does something else, you follow him. If that's all you're ever thinking about, you're simply just going to be doomed to have a 50% win rate, because all that you can change then is the way that you pilot your champion and the mechanics that you show. And obviously, if you're in the rank you are, your mechanics are probably about the similar, you know, to the other people in your rank. But if you're able to actually consistently try to gear your teammates towards the correct decision by using pings, by pathing towards the correct ways, if you're in jungle, for example, by roaming at the correct times and other roles, these types of things will allow your teammates to have the potential to make the correct decision. In reality, a lot of these people are like you. They watch these videos. You know, a lot of people do watch YouTube videos and look for improvement, or they see, you know, random tips, or they hear them from games or from friends or whatever. They understand the correct decision, but if they're not pointed in the correct decision, the correct direction, they can't possibly make that decision because they're too scared to make the call themselves. They're just they always gravitate towards the easiest decision. I don't know why I can't talk, but the easiest decision. The easiest decision is usually to go mid lane and just ARAM or to take the fights, and that's all they're ever thinking about. And in reality, a lot of teammates will pay attention. They won't engage when no one's there. They won't do these dumb things. You know, sometimes it will happen but this doesn't matter. What matters is the consistency. You have to be thinking about solo queue especially, but even duo queue or trio queue, in terms of trying to play as consistently as possible. Your goal should not be to make this one 50-50 play just to win that individual game. That's why I tell people, don't flip a lot of Barons or Elders unless your goal is to practice your smiting. Unless you want to practice your smiting, then go for it. But if you don't want to practice smiting, why are you going for these 50-50s? If your goal is to win, take the consistent plays. You know, take the 50-50 flip on Baron or Elder when you're losing. Because if you're already losing, it's a 50-50 in a game that you only had a 20% chance to win. So you're already upping your chance to win in that sense. But if you're already winning the game by 10k gold, why would you dictate the entire potential loss of the game on just some random Elder Dragon that you don't even need to go for, because you could just force a fight because you're so far ahead? Like, these are the types of things that you guys actually have to be thinking about, is the consistency in your gameplay, what you can control, not focusing on your teammates or their dumb decisions. Like, your teammates are going to make dumb decisions, and you have to allow that. You have to be okay with your teammates dying and your teammates throwing individual games to build these better habits and to consistently climb. If you are just always focusing again on your teammates' decisions, nothing's going to change in your games, guys. Regardless of whether you think what I'm saying is true, regardless of whether you think the matchmaking system is rigged and Riot Games hate you and, you know, everyone's against you, you know, if you have these conspiracy theories, okay, I don't care. You can have them. I don't agree with them. I don't think that the matchmaking system is rigged. I think everyone has to deal with the same issues. Whatever you guys think, I don't care. What I do care about is trying to have you guys acknowledge the fact that regardless of the way the matchmaking works, you can't change it. You don't work at Riot Games. You can't change it. You just can't. Okay, so you have to deal with it or quit the game. Those are the two options, okay? Or three. You can complain about it and not gain any elo. Or, you know, you can actually focus on what you can improve, or you can quit the game. Those are your three options. I would highly recommend focusing on what you can improve. I feel like that's the most fun thing to do in general. Again, I don't mind letting off some steam and blaming teammates here and there. I do it way too often, honestly. I blame teammates more than I should. Sometimes it's my fault and I blame teammates. Honestly, more often than not, it is my fault. Or at least to an extent, it's my fault. Which is another thing. It's not a black and white decision, guys. It's not like, okay, this decision was right, this one was wrong. Oftentimes it's like, okay, my teammate, they went in and did a dumb play. But I followed that dumb play. Why would I follow the dumb play? I knew it was a dumb play, but I still followed for no reason. Even though I knew it wasn't going to work out. Whose fault is that? Both of your faults. You're both idiots. You're both idiots. Okay? I do this too. I try to save teammates when I shouldn't, but you're both idiots. The idiot is the one for starting it, but like, it's like if your friend jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? You know, it's that type of thing. I know you guys have probably heard your parents say that dumb stuff to you, but it's just true. If you're following these dumb calls, you're just as much to blame as anyone else, guys. You have to understand, and you have to take from my YouTube videos or from other YouTube videos or watching your own gameplay or others' gameplay or just learning in general. You have to take the consistent things that you can actually implement into your own games and not try to focus on all the other BS or all the other things you can't control. That's really what I want you guys to gain from this video. I don't want to make this too long. So the last kind of thing I'm going to talk about, I think you guys get the general point. I want to talk to you guys in the comment section about this genuinely, especially the people who comment on my videos that it's their teammates' fault or that your teammates are stupid. You know, I don't mind you guys joking about your teammates being dumb, because trust me, it's frustrating. I get it. Wild Rift players, they're dumb. A lot of them are. And, you know, you guys maybe, it's frustrating. It just straight up is. I get it. Complain about it. That's fine with me. The issue only comes when you guys talk about, you know, you should be a higher rank, but your teammates are the ones holding you back. That's not true. That's where I disagree. I agree your teammates suck. I don't agree that your teammates are the reason that you're in the elo you are. I believe if you were better, you would climb. Obviously, again, you know, spamming games is one thing. Like, obviously, if you don't play enough games, you're not going to climb. You do have to play a certain amount of games to climb, and that's kind of the last thing I want to talk about. In any game, you have to play to climb. Like, it's as simple as that. The fortitude shouldn't exist, and there are a select few people who climb with a negative win rate, but that's not the majority of people. It just simply isn't. In reality, most of the people who climb are playing maybe 5 or less games a day, and that is the reality. There's going to be those exceptions who play 20 games a day and are able to climb with low win rates. You know, I do play a lot of games a day, and I'm able to climb with a bit of a lower win rate. I still have, you know, like 50-something win rate in most seasons. I still feel like I deserve to get Challenger when I do, but I do play a lot, and that helps me climb, because if I didn't play as many games, I would probably not, you know, climb as much. But the reality is, you have to play to climb. You can't just magically expect your rank to go up while playing like 1 game a day. You do have to dedicate time if you want to improve your peak rank. That's just simply how it works. You either have to win an insane amount of games, or you win roughly like 51, 52, 53% of games, and you'll slowly climb as you play more games. So people will complain about this. They'll say, you know, they just don't have enough time, and if you don't have enough time, you might just not be able to climb, or you'll have to win, you know, improve significantly. But even those people who don't have enough time, if they did improve enough, they would also climb. You know, in overall, it's just, there's no reason to focus on what you can't control. If you don't have enough time, focus on using your time to get as high as you possibly can. Maybe you can't get Challenger because you don't have enough time, but maybe you can climb to Grandmaster when you're a Master Peak or something. You know, it's just like, try to have these, you know, incremental goals. Try to focus on that. Try to focus just in general on yourself. Every conversation about rank, about whose fault it is, about matchmaking, everything, to me, it just all comes down in the end to the factors you can control, and that's yourself. So that's really all I want you guys to gain from this. Again, I hope in the future when you watch my videos, you're not thinking about what it is that will hinder you from being able to use this advice. Instead, I'll hope you try to think about what it is that you can use from this video or from the other videos that I have, and what you can learn, rather than all the reasons that, you know, all the excuses. Just less excuses, more focusing on improvement. And again, just final thing, I'm sorry for this being a bit of a rant, but again, I'm not perfect. I do these things too. I blame teammates when I shouldn't. I way too often do this. 100%, I acknowledge that I am sometimes hypocritical in this sense, where I will blame teammates even when I tell you guys not to. I'm not perfect. I get angry, I get tilted, I get frustrated, and I understand. So I understand why you guys do this. 100%, I'm just, you know, I wanted to make this video because in the end, I do feel this is valuable information, so hopefully you guys can utilize that. That's about it. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, it was quite a rant, but I hope it was valuable in some way to you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.